Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make my little Easter bunny. And what we're going to need is two different colours. I'm choosing to use white and pink. I'm going to need seed beads for his eyes, which I've already threaded using my little metal threader that I've made from a twisty tie, and there's a video on how to do that on my YouTube channel. So I've already threaded those onto a white band. You're going to need a single loom. In the configuration is just a standard configuration. Make sure you have the arrows pointing towards you. If you don't have arrows, make sure that it's the open part of the peg facing towards you. We're going to start by doing the frill around his neck, and we're going to need to double band, which means you take two bands and you place them over the peg as if they were a single band together. And we're going to do this a couple of times, because we have 4 of them. So the first one, we will lay here like that, and what we're going to do is take a single band and stretch it, and we will stretch it across there for the crossovers. And we're also going to do end caps on these, which is a single band that you twist twice around your fingers. Now I'm only doing them twice, which gives them quite an open look. If you want that a tighter, more closed look, then twist them more than that. So, like, you know, if you want it tighter, I've wrapped it around twice, which gives it 3 loops. If you want it tighter, wrap it around more, which will give it a tighter loop. But I quite like the open, frilly-ish kind of look. So that's our first one. We now have a couple more to make. So while we have the space on our loom, we will do that. And these, when we're done, will be sitting on a holding hook waiting for us until the end. Single band, stretch it on itself, pull it over, and then end caps. Let's do the third one. Single band, stretch it on itself in a figure 8, loop it, and end caps. Oops. And loop it, and the fourth one will be here. Stretch it, and we'll do 3 end caps here. Oops. Okay, so now what we're going to need to do is loom these all up, and as I said, we're going to store them on a holding hook. Dig down past the end cap and grab the 2 bottom bands, and we just loom each of these up. Where you have a crossover band, pull it back with the back of your hook, just so that you can get the bands. Okay, so move past the end cap, grab the 2 bands. It's always a good idea to hold end caps or they fly off and hit the person sitting in the room with you in the head, if you can aim really good. Alright, we'll do the next ones. Push that crossover band back, grab the 2 bottom. Now I can see that one of my end cap pieces just came up. It doesn't really matter because I had already looped it, so it was safe, but I prefer it to be in its right spot. Okay. Now for your holding hook, if you don't have a holding hook, a spare hook to use, you can use a pencil. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can just use a pencil to hold them all on. I'm going to use my metal crochet hook, the one that I hate, and I'm just going to take all of these off, and we're just going to hold them. Now see how it's quite open, but I don't mind that look. I think it kind of looks like it's a bit frilly. I'm going to put all of them here. Like that. Now, actually we don't need to leave it on a holding hook. We'll finish it and it can just sit waiting. Let's get a single band and we'll pop that on the end of our hook, and we're slowly going to move all of these onto the single band. That's 3 of them on there. Let's get number 4. Like that. We need to reclaim the end of your band, so it's like a little frilly tutu. And you're going to take the closest one to you, up, over and off, like that, so that you've just got the one band. And then you're going to find where this first one that's closest to it is, splay this out and pop that over like that. So you've basically got this little, I mean you can almost use it as a tutu, as a dress, a skirt, but that is going to go around the neck. So we're going to now sit that to one side with the eyes to use later. Next we're going to do the ears, and we do need to change our configuration for the ears. So pushing out the middle column, you're going to move it up one little notch so that you now are in the offset position for your loom. We're going to start with its single banding, and what we're going to do is start with white, figure 8, twist on itself, and we're going to start with our white bands up here. So single band, stretch it out into a figure 8, loop it on itself, and this is where we're going to start. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6 is going to come in here, but before we come in here we need to do our pink down the middle, and we'll also do our other white on column 1. Again, it's all going to be single banding looped on itself. Now we'll do the pink. And now we'll do our last 2 white bands here. And you will need an end cap here. Take a single band, wrap it around your fingers twice, and pop that on there like that. We're going to do crossover bands, and they're going to be a single band that you stretch out figure 8, and they're going to be stretched across in the shape of a triangle. Like that. Now let's do our next one down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and remember number 6 is going to come in here, so we're not ready for that yet. Start doing pink. This is our last pink. We're going to do 2 whites here. And an end cap. And then our crossover bands. Again, single bands, stretch them out. Like that. Now we're ready to loom. Dig down past this end cap here and grab the top 2 white bands. And it looks like 2, it's actually your single band that's looped, but it's still 2 parts. Grab that up on the other side and loom up. And we're going to loom all the way to the top of this particular ear. Push that crossover band back with the back of your hook so that you can expose those bands that you want to get to. And you're looking for that teardrop shape to confirm that you've actually looped it all in. That's your visual confirmation. Push those crossover back with the back of your hook. And do the middle. I like to do the middle all the way up first, and then I do the white sides, so that at least the white is the predominant colour that you're going to see on that particular one. We're going to take a single band, stretch it, figure 8, poke your hook through the middle of that channel there, and place that twisted band, that double looped band, on that like that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do it so you can see, and I'm not doing a very good job of it. There we go. Pull that through with the back side of the hook against these bands so it doesn't snag, and pull it to the back of the peg, then reclaim your bands. Now you're going to take the 2 bands that are closest to you up, over and off. Actually, I'm telling you fibs, no you're not. You're going to leave them on your hook like that. I'm going to transfer this to my holding hook, okay, because we're not ready to put the ears anywhere just yet. So I'm going to stretch that out so I can put my holding hook here, take my other hook out, and I'm going to take these off. And be gentle because it's quite tight because they're looped bands. There we go. Stretch it out, and there's one little ear. Let's loom up the next one. Push down past the end cap, grab the 2 bands, the 2 bands that are 1, and let's loom up. Now we can loom our sides. It doesn't really matter which order you do that in, as long as you get that middle pink one loomed before the 2 side white ones. Now I can see that I just dropped something there, so I'm going to keep that on my hook. I'm going to grab that little dropped band, there we are, and place that on the peg, and then the other one. Okay, get a single band, and I must remind myself we're not tying this off. Grab your hook, push it down and out the side. This is my holding hook. Grab the bands, twist it so the back side goes against those bands, pull it round to the back of the peg, reclaim your bands, and we're not tying it off. I was just about to again, goodness me. We're going to just take it off the loom unsecured. Gently does it. We don't want any bands broken. There we go, stretch it out. And the reason I have not secured these is because that's what we're going to pop onto our head for our bunny rabbit. So we'll put that to one side. Next we can work on his snout, and we can actually leave that on a holding hook as well, or a pencil. So get some bands. I'm using white and pink for these, as you know. I'm going to put 2 bands here and 2 bands here. Then I'm going to move to 2 pink here, and then 2 white, and then another 2 white, and another 2 white. I'm going to take a white band, stretch it out, figure 8, loop it on itself, and we'll move that across there. I'm going to put end caps on all of these, white end caps, so single band, and we'll put those on there. We don't need any more pinks, I don't believe. Let's loom this up. This is the snout. Dig down past the end cap to the white bands, and we're going to loom up and loom up, loom up and loom up. That's the little nose, little pink twitchy nose. Loom up and loom up. Now again, I'm going to put this on a different hook, and that's going to be like that. I need 2 more white bands. The first one, single band, I'm going to move the top layer of bands onto, and I'm just going to secure it like that. Okay, and the bottom ones I'm going to do the same. What we're going to do is push a hook through, grab your second band, and we're going to do those like that and put that on that. And so this is our little raised snout that we're going to be putting on when we're ready. So again, I'm going to put that to one side, and if you don't have loads of hooks, as I said, pencils are the way to go. I have quite a few hooks because when I first started looming, I bought a packet of them of different sizes. I had no clue what size I actually would want, and then I guess over the time I've also found different ones that feel more comfortable than the others. Alright, so we're ready to start with his body. We're going to start with his face, and then his body, and then his little feet. 2 bands, offset configuration for your loom. Oh, sorry, I keep bashing this on my desk. Getting a bit violent here in my old age. Oops, push that down so I've got space. Now I'm going to take a single band and stretch it across in a triangle over those 3 pegs, and then for his eyes I'm going to take a single band, I'm going to twist it 3 times, once, twice, 3 times, and I'm going to place it over here so that as I place his little eyes that we already prepared over, they don't get sunk into the back of his head. I'm also going to take my hook and poke it between those bands and just raise them like that, so they're a little bit higher up, but also so that it acts as a crossover band. Now we're going to do 3 bands for his neck, and they just go here. We need to do layers for his little chubby cheeks. Now there's 2 ways that you can add chubby cheeks. You can do the way that I really like to do, which is 2 bands either side and another 2 bands, and then you loom those 2 first, or you can just do a little extension. To do the little extension, just take a single band, wrap it once and twice, take 2 bands, slide on, and another 2 bands and slide on, and then we just add these here to the side of his face, and then slipping our hook through the end cap that you made originally, you're going to attach that here like that. So this is quite a good way if you don't like doing the layers. It works if you're just going down, you know, two pegs. for larger things like dresses and stuff, or fat tummies, then I actually do like to use layers. So slip this on here, but it's good to know both ways. Pop your hook through and we attach that to that side here. So they're going to be his chubby little cheeks. Now we're down to his body, and he has got a fat tummy, so we are going to have to do layers there, sorry. We're double banding still. Oopsie. Now, if you actually look here, we've got his neck here, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bands. So his neck is here, 1, 2, 3, 4 bands. Then we've got his sides, and then we've got the little extension here. Okay, so we're going to put an extension on these, and then we have 3 bands for his legs, because he's got short little legs. Okay, so let's do his legs. 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3, and I'm going to put the layers for his tummy here. And I'm going to do it the opposite way of how we did his cheeks, so we're doing both ways. You could do it the same way as his cheeks here if you wanted to, but I'm going to show you how to do both ways in the same construct. So we've got 2 here and 2 here. Now we're going to do crossover bands, and I'm not going to loop them on themselves. I'm just going to use a single band and stretch it over in the shape of a triangle. And the last one I'm going to do here. And this one, I always like to just lift that up and pop it over the top of that last peg that we've used at his crotch area. For arms, take a single band, oops, sorry, throwing them all over, wrap it once, twice and 3 times, those are for his little fingers. Take a pair and slide these over if you can get your fingers to work. Like that, and loop, reclaim the bands, and then we'll do another couple of pair. 1, 'oops, let's get that straightened out. 2, so that's 1, 2, that's 3, and we're going to want 4. I'm doing shorter arms than I do for normal action figures because he's a bunny rabbit. So I'm going to put that on this shoulder here. I'm going to do the same on the other side, a single band, wrap it once, twice, 3 times, and then a pair. Reclaim the end of your band. So that was 1, 2, 3. Try and pretty that up. I can see that I've got it looped again on top of itself. There we are. 3 and 1 more. 4, like that. I'm going to pop that on this shoulder here. Now for his feet, what I've actually done is they're long feet, so they're actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 long, okay, and then I've flip them on top of each other so that you basically got 4 and 4. So what I'm going to do, get a pair of bands, wrap it once and twice, a pair, and we're going to slide that on. Try and make it so it's not too messy. That's number 1. Another pair is number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and lucky last is 8. Now, instead of just attaching that like that, which would just add like all this extra length, I'm going to make a right angle for it. So I'm going to take another pair, I'm going to wrap it around twice, I'm going to get another pair and slide this through like that, and then with this side here, I'm going to take the 2 that are closest to the end of the hook over and off. I'm going to take those 2 off my loom, my hook, twist it around and put this side on, still holding this side though. Take these 2 over and off, and I'm going to reclaim my bands onto my hook like that, and that gives you kind of like a little heel, and I'm going to pop that on the end of my loom, just there. Okay, we're going to do the same for the other side. 2 bands, 1, 2, and then this is number 1. Straighten it out so it's not too tangly. That's number 1. We want 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, lucky last is going to be 8, and then I'm going to make the little right angle, 1 pair, 2 bands, wrap it once and twice, slide it onto a pair. Remember, we take the 2 closest to the end up and over like that, take that side off and replace it with the other side, and take that up and off and reclaim the end of your bands and push it that way so that you've got the little heel facing that way, and again that's going to go on our loom on the end of this foot. And when we've taken this off, what we do is we flip this up like that for each of his little feet, but we'll do that when he's off the loom. Okay, I think we're actually, oh, let's put our ears on. Here I am. We need to put our ears and our snout on. So taking your ears, you're going to put one ear here, the other ear here. We will get our snout, and the snout is going to go across. Alright, now I'm going to take my extension off on either side for the minute as I put my snout on. For the snout, I want one side, one band to go here, and you're going to make sure that the pink is at the top in the middle, okay, like that. Then I'm going to take the other end and put that here and here, like that, okay. And now this is where we would put our extensions back. I don't like extensions very much. I prefer layers. Okay, dig down, find your end cap band to put those there. Okay, so we have our little extensions for chubby cheeks, our snout, our ears, our crossover bands, our eyes, our arms, crossover bands, and our feet. I think we're ready to start looming. Dig down, find the 2 white bands, and we're looming up. Same on the other side. Now when we get to here, this is where we have our first layer for his tummy. So we're going to dig down past that crossover band, okay, and grab the 2 top white bands and loom up and loom up and stop there. Alright, pull the crossover band back, loom up and loom up. We'll take these off the loom, and to do it we're just going to, we're not taking them off the loom, we're moving them to the side, to the right. Lift up and move across, leaving the crossover bands in place. And you see, this is why doing the extension wouldn't really work. This is why layers are better for this particular thing, because you don't really have control of the crossover bands as well, I don't believe. Okay, digging down, find that first layer, which are the last 2 bands there, and loom them up. Loom up to the arms. Oops, that's only 1 band. Let's make sure we've got both. There we go. Pull that out. Loom the middle. Now before I loom the neck, I'm going to loom these 2 arms in. So dig down to the bottom 2 bands and loom those into the neck, and then I'm looming the chest into the neck, and then dig all the way down. You've got 3 bands there. I've only got 2. Let's go back and find that 3rd one. He is there somewhere. Hiding from me. There he is. And dig that up. Whoops, sorry. Now we're going to loom the side for the chin. Now these are my 2 that are on the top, so I'm going to dig down and loom to the side and loom to the side. Now this is where I have to take my extension off, hold it out to the side, and dig all the way down to find those 2 bottom white bands and loom those up. Put my extension back on, dig down, find the bottom 2 bands there, make sure you're not grabbing the eyes, and dig those up to the ear. That is now secure in place. Let's do that for the other side. Take your extension off, hold it out to the side, all the way down to those last 2 bottom bands, and loom up. If it's snagged, if it's too tight, put your hook in and wiggle it around the outside of the peg, and it frees things up. Reclaim your extension onto your hook, and we will put that back on the cheek like that. Get some of these hooks out of the way. Dig down, find the last 2 white bands and loom up to the ear. Okay, so that's sort of secured in right now. If you really feel happy about it, just loom up to the center point here. that's fine too, because it's all white bands. We don't have to worry about which goes first. So they're secure there. Now we're going to do our little snout, and if you remember, if you made the bracelet, you have to do a flip top snout. So move your snout up so you're exposing that peg and loom onto it, and then we have to take the snout and move it down so we can find those 2 bands to loom up, and then put the snout back and then dig down, find that last set to loom in, and we are ready to take our bunny off the loom. 2 white bands, poke your hook down the middle there, grab the 2 white bands, twist it so that the smooth edge goes against those bands, you don't snag anything. Reclaim. These 2 are going to go up, over and off, and you're going to tighten them into a slip knot. We're ready to take him off the loom. I use the back of my hook, the hook that I hate, to take him off the loom. Now be careful, because remember you have got bands behind his snout on a peg. Do you see here? They're on there. So you need to get your fingers and just gently, and there's quite a few bands on there, gently ease that off, like that. Ease down. Okay, so here is our little bunny. There's his little eyes and his little snout and his chubby cheeks. And as you can see, it is a 3D snout, so it's a little different. First thing we're going to do is take our little frilly collar, and while his legs are still long and gangly like this, we're going to stretch this out, not too much because there's not too much stretch in it. Poke one leg through, poke the other leg through, and it's easier to go through his legs and up his little body than it is to actually squeeze this over his head. Now if you're after a ballerina bunny, this is your look. I'm going to squeeze his arms in, and his second arm, and just spread that out. I try and do sort of 2 at the front and 2 at the back, like that. These, now you can, if you're wanting to put it on as a keychain, I use the little plastic keychains from Joann's, but also I quite like to just tuck them behind bands that are already existing at the back of his head here, and just hide them discreetly. Says she, not able to even catch one. There we go, there's one. Let's grab the other one. There's 2. And you could put a little S clip or C clip at the back here if you wanted to secure that. Now, all we really have to do now is his feet. Okay, like that. So what I did for his feet, you take a band for each. Go through the middle there, grab a band, pull it through, take the first end and splay that out, and it's going to go over the top of his foot like that, and then splay the other end out, and that goes over the bottom of his foot like that. We'll do the same on the other side. Bend his foot over. Push your hook from the bottom side up through his foot. Grab the band, pull it back. Oops, not so much that it pops through the other side. Grab the top bit, the bottom bit, and pull it over the top, and then grab the top bit and pull it over the bottom. And you can pretty those up a little bit like that. And last but not least, we need to do his little tail. So what we're going to do is take double band, wrap your hook around it once and twice, and another pair, once and twice, and one more pair, once and twice. We're going to slip that onto a single white band. Reclaim the end of your hook on your hook, take one over the other like that. So this is going to be his little tail. So turn him around. I'm using a fine crochet hook, and I'm just going to push my crochet hook through the back here where I want his tail to be. I'm going to take my band off my loom, pull it through. I'm then going to take it off my hook. I'm going to pick a different spot to come back through, close but not in exactly the same position. Grab the end of my band, pull that back through again, splay it open like that, and pop my tail through it and let go, and there my little bunny tail will sit. Okay, so that's how you do his little bunny tail. Thanks so much.